All right, welcome to episode 10 of the Greatest People You've Never Met podcast. Thank you so much for everybody listening through these first 10. It's been a blast. Excited for what's to come. Extremely excited for today's episode. Luis Alvarez, stand-up comedian. I've seen him a couple times when he opened up for Brian Callen. And I thought, God, this guy's fucking hilarious. And so I just shot my shot like a little schoolgirl on Instagram. And
slid in the DMs.
Yeah, yes, sir.
I replied, though.
Yeah, kind enough.
I fuck with dudes, too, bro.
Yeah.
Gotta show love. What's up with you?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
All right, chill.
Yeah. Appreciate you so much, man.
Yeah, of course, bro. No, I appreciate the love. Bro.
Yeah. This is, you were fucking hoot both times we saw you. And you got some big stuff coming up yourself. So
Yeah. Headlining my first whole weekend.
Yeah.
Next weekend, 23rd to 26th. 4 nights, 6 shows. So it's a lot of pressure, but I'm excited.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun. Who'd you come with to the shows?
So both times, my girlfriend and then some friends.
Okay,
so,
cool.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
she's a big Callen fan.
Yeah, she likes Callen?
Big time.
Damn,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Yes.
It's usually the other way around. It's usually the dudes
Yeah.
dragging their chicks to the Callen shows. You know what I mean?
She's got pictures like from when like Theo was in town and then Callen. So like when I first met her, I think her profile picture was her like staring up at Callen and it was like get someone who looks at you like I look at Brian Callen.
Damn, that's crazy.
So
hey, honestly, if she likes comedy like that, she might be a pretty cool hang.
Yeah,
Does she listen to podcasts more than you?
she does.
Well, you like podcasts. So obviously you do a podcast
For sure.
So who were you like listening to? Were you listening to Callen, or did she put you on to?
Nope. So I was listening to him before we met.
Okay.
Like the Fighter and the Kid, and then King of the Sting.
Old school.
Right, and
Hell
then
yeah.
a big fan of Theo.
Yeah.
So like that's what really got me into podcasting was this past weekend. So
That's pretty. It's pretty new, right?
yeah, so he's got a couple hundred episodes, I think. But like there was one he had like a female trucker on, and that shit was hilarious.
I've never actually no. I listened to one episode. Who's that one country UFC dude? Bryson,
the kid from Arkansas?
Bryce Mitchell.
Yeah,
Bryce Mitchell.
with the
and it was
camo
just
pants?
like two. It was just two Southerners going back and forth.
Yeah.
It was, I don't know, that Southern twang. Like you didn't even got to say a joke. Sometimes you know what I mean.
I know.
Some of that shit is just hilarious. No, I love the Fighting the Kid, man. Like when I first. Before I started doing stand up, I used to work at the comedy club. I was washing dishes.
Okay.
So, honestly, dishwashing was probably my favorite job I've ever had because
Really?
like you're kind of like the hero
For
of
sure.
the building. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nobody can do what they're doing unless you do your job.
Yeah.
So as long as I was doing my job, I could just put my headphones in and and I would listen to Fighter and the Kid. I'd listen to all the comic podcasts are the best. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Just because you don't got to think, you could just laugh, giggle a little bit.
Correct.
But it's crazy how everything worked out. Like I really feel like linking up with Brian, it's kind of manifested that. Like I was always before I even was doing stand up, I was like I want to hang out with these dudes
For sure.
And ended up happening.
Yeah, first I'll shout out dishwashers. My dad owned a restaurant growing up, and that was always my job.
Oh, was it?
There wasn't a lot of respect in that, so I mean, give him the props.
Oh, dude, what? You're the owner's son, and
Yeah.
you're doing the hardest job.
Yeah,
Come
when
on,
I was
bro.
like 8, dude. I started. I mean, I was like child
I think
labor
that's
laws.
illegal, bro.
Well, straight cash. Nobody knew.
That's hilarious.
So, So let's get into. How did you get into podcasting?
Podcasting?
Or excuse me, how did you get into
I was
stand-up?
about to say I got a
apologies.
podcast.
Yeah.
Stand up. I just well, I got a job at Stand Up Live because I just really needed a job.
Okay.
Like I was kind of just like down on my luck, so I was thinking of places I can apply to, and I grew up skateboarding, so I was always downtown Phoenix, and I would always look at the Stand Up Live building, and I was just always kind of just had like, what goes on in there, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I just applied. It's a funny story because I actually applied for the box office. And I went and I did an interview and I bombed my interview, bro. Like I was just nervous and it was just, I don't know why I was so intimidated of that spot.
Yeah.
And Casey and Jamie, they were the ones running the club at the time, and they were really cool people. And I still felt uncomfortable. I just bombed the job interview, and then I didn't get a call back. I think maybe I waited 4 days, and I called Casey. I think I texted him, and I was like, hey, what's up? Like, did you guys need any help at the box office? And he texted me back almost immediately, and he's like, I need a dishwasher tonight. So I showed up, and I started dishwashing that night. The electricity went out that night, and it was like the worst first day ever, dude. Like, I think it was Samore. She was there, sold it out. And her crowd was eating, dude. And then electricity went out. I had to leave all the dishes on like in the dish pit till the next morning, and then I got there the next day, everything's just welded on there. I had to get there like 3 hours early to clean all the dishes. But so I started working there, and then, you know, like the cool thing about washing dishes at the club was that the rush is for like the host and the feature. You know what I mean? Everybody orders food when they first get there. So by the time the headliner's on stage, I really don't got to do too much. So I would be able to go out there and check out shows and, you know, see what, you know, these dudes were about. And there's a couple dudes that came into town. I was just like, man, if this motherfucker could do this shit, I could do this shit. Yeah. So started doing open mics. And then I started, you know, getting on the open mics at Stand Up Live at the Tempe Improv. And then next thing you know, it's pretty crazy now that I think about it, because like when I haven't stopped since I first started. Right. Like I might have been doing like more open mics, you know, a couple years ago, but like once I started, like, dude, damn, that's sad. I haven't been to any family birthday parties in like 6 years. You know what I mean? Like it's every weekend I've just been doing stand up, but that's really how I started, just working at the club, you know, just kind of just figuring it out.
So it was never really a thing like you wanted to get into. It's just it happened to be
there. Dude, I wanted to be a narco or like a jewel thief. Yeah. You know, I wanted to do something cool. Yeah. And you know what's funny though is that like I have people that come up to my shows that like, you know, they see me do stand up and they want to see what it's about. But I got like people that know me from like high school. Like I used to sell weed in high school, and people would come up to me and be like, "Yo, dude, you always made me laugh when you sold me weed." Like I was like, "Oh man, that's cool." So and I've had a couple people tell me like, you know, like when you said you were doing stand up, like I didn't think like it was like too crazy. You know what I mean? It seems like something you would do, but I mean, I've always been kind of funny, just kind of witty. Both of my parents are super smart and super witty. My dad's like he's really funny when it comes to like structural jokes, like you know, bar jokes, like, you know, a guy walks into a bar, like those type. Dude, my dad knew a million of those, dude. Like he would tell me like a new joke every day. So I kind of like learned the structure of jokes from my dad, but my mom just talks shit, bro. Really? She just makes fun of the way you look, or just you do something stupid, she'll let you hear it. Like so it's kind of like them two. They molded a good sense of humor into me. Yeah. So it kind of just came natural, you know. For sure. So then your first open mic night, was that down at CB? That was at a Mexican restaurant called Dos Gringos. Used to be ran by Jill Kimmel, but Jill Kimmel wasn't there that night. Jill Kimmel, that's Jimmy Kimmel's sister. She's actually a local comic. She, like, when I first started doing stand up, like the rotation, like, you know how like if you go to if you're a regular and you go to the comedy clubs, you'll see like the same feature or like they have like a small rotation that they have in there. Jill Kimmel, she used to be like a host MC. I think she just doesn't live here anymore. She's still doing her thing, but she used to run Dos Gringos, and I went to this Mexican restaurant, and it just was not set up for stand up. Yeah. We were just. Is it just literally a mic in the corner? There was kind of a stage. Okay. I think it was just. For some reason, I'm like thinking back, and I'm like picturing like pallets, maybe. Really? Maybe some pallets stage. With like some artificial turf on it. Nice. Dude. And it was not nice. And then. It seemed like, because I was waiting there and like I was like, all right, is there going to be a show here? And then a dude just walked up and like brought like a mic stand out from the back, and he's like, all right, guys, you guys ready for some comedy? And everybody's like, bro, I'm eating tacos. Bro. There was a little kid up front. He was like 5, coloring, and like it just wasn't set up for stand up. It was pretty bad. And then, you know, it's funny. I just talked about this. Yesterday. I did that show. I went up on stage, and the guy that was hosting the show, he was running the show. Yeah. When I got up on stage, he went and he sat down, and he was just looking at his phone the whole time. And then I was just like, you know, I didn't really care. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't trying to perform for him or trying to look cool in front of him or anything. I just wanted to try it out. And then I got off stage, and he goes, "Hey, that was really funny." I was like, "Bro, you didn't listen to shit. What are you talking about? Don't give me no fake love right now." Yeah. That's hilarious. Thanks for listening. Not at all. So was there a lot of stage fright in that? Were you just cool? I still get stage fright right now, bro. Really? Yeah. I don't know if that goes away, but it's kind of like, you know, I think it's healthy. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like I have like friends that fight, like do like MMA and stuff like that. And they always say like when they're not nervous, like, you know, that's when they should be worried. You know, it's natural to go up in front of, you know, hundreds of people and you're about to be judged. Right. So it's, I think it's normal to. I know I was way more afraid back then, but I kind of have, a little bit more belief in my writing, and I've done it so many times, so it's not as bad. But yeah, I still get stage fright for sure.
So how do you come up with a set? Like, what is it? Is it like, I've seen you a couple of times, like I touched on it, and you're hilarious, and like, but is it like real life stuff or? Yeah,
most of it's real for sure. It might be a little exaggerated. Sure. You know what I mean? Like you get some tags from your friends, like some stuff that really didn't happen, but it just it just complements the joke well. A lot of my stuff when I first started writing, I kind of broke down, like I needed 5 minutes, so I said, let me do a minute about my family. Let me do a minute about my ethnicity and my background. Let me do a minute about my job, a minute topical, and then just kind of just play around for a minute. So I broke it down like that, and then now I mean some of my jokes right now that are in my set are jokes from when I first started, but I just built them up so much.
Yeah.
So it just depends what kind of set you're doing. If I'm doing like a MC set, it's only 10 minutes, then I'm just going to go bangers. But like when I do, longer sets, that's when I kind of work out new stuff, because I have like 5 minutes up front I know is going to work.
Yeah. And
then in the middle, I can kind of just, throw some stuff in there. New stuff, and then just like the set is just always evolving. I'll take a joke out here and there and replace it with a new one if a new one starts working better. But it's just I put whatever works.
Yeah.
Kind of stays in there.
Yeah. I mean, one of my favorites is you talking about getting Facebook message shit from your cousins.
Oh, dude, I'll show you a video. When we get out of here. My cousin just sending me selfie videos in jail, showing off his haircut and his fit. So
dude, that
dumb.
shit's so funny to me.
So annoying.
Y'all play Candy Crush in there? That shit's hilarious.
I probably got to switch that tag out, because I feel like people don't even know what Candy Crush is anymore.
Probably
you know
not,
what I mean?
Yeah.
Probably like Words with Friends or something like that. I don't play one. Yeah.
I don't know what the phone games are.
Yeah,
anymore.
exactly. What's the one? The beer pong game? I should do that one.
The beer pong game.
You don't know the iPhone beer pong game?
Oh, that you send back and forth like Messenger?
Yeah. He's just like, hey, bro, it's your turn. Or something like that. That'd be hilarious.
No, it's good stuff. So who'd you first open for? Who did an MC spot for or a host?
Okay, so I was maybe doing stand up for 3 weeks. I don't consider this opening, but it's just a funny story, so I'll tell you real quick. So Steve Byrne was on The Fighter and the Kid, and that's the first time I ever heard of Steve Byrne. I really respect Steve Byrne right now. I love him. I think he's hilarious. One of the best comics out there doing it. But I heard Steve Byrne on The Fighter and the Kid, and I looked at the schedule, and Steve Byrne is coming in a week. So I was like, oh, man, I just heard this guy. I really think he's funny. So I went and I talked to him after the Thursday show, and I told him, oh, bro, I think you're really funny. I actually just started doing stand-up. And he goes, oh, do you want to do a spot tomorrow? And I've been doing stand-up for 3 weeks, bro.
Right.
And I didn't realize now, dude, the weekend shows, it's not an open mic. People pay money,
Mm-hmm.
Like you think, you might be funny, but are you $35 funny?
Right.
Are you $35 two expensive drinks and a babysitter funny? So people got a little bit less patience when they're paying to go out. And I found that out the hard way. So I went up. Oh, by the way, my manager was so pissed when he found out that Steve was giving me a guest spot.
Really?
He's like, bro, you can't do that. You're not ready for this. But Steve already went up to him and was like, yo, he's opening up tomorrow. So, my manager couldn't tell Steve no. So I went up. Oh, man, it's so embarrassing. I remember going up, and Steve wasn't even there. Thank God, Steve wasn't there yet.
Yeah.
So it was me, Gary Cannon was MCing, and this other fella, I forget his name, but he travels with Steve a lot. He's one of Steve's buddies. So Gary's up on stage, and Gary does crowd audience warm up for sitcoms and those type of shows. You know what I mean? So he's a rapid fire type dude.
Yeah. And
he's a roaster. He's that's what he does. He just makes fun of people. So, oh man, it's so embarrassing. I remember sitting backstage waiting to go on, and I had a beer in my hand, and I asked the other guy, I was like, should I bring my beer on stage? And he's like, you're going to be up there for 5 minutes. You have time to drink a beer? And I was like, oh, shit. I feel stupid. So then I go up on stage, and oh, my God, I bombed so hard, bro.
Really?
Oh, my God. It was, I used to used to drive around, and I would just hit my steering wheel randomly, just go fuck.
Yeah.
And my girl, my ex, she'd be like, "Are you thinking about the Steve Burns show?" I'd be like, "Yeah, I am." Like it was like it like was messing with me, bro.
Right.
And then I got off stage, and then Gary Cannon goes on stage. He goes, "Anybody else want to do this? Anybody else want to try this shit out?" Like just fucking roasted me.
Yeah.
I was like, whatever. So that night I went home. Oh, then Steve came in the green room and he's like, "How was it?" I was like, "Oh, it was great." Lying.
Yeah.
Lying like a motherfucker, bro. And then I remember going home that night and I just like sat down in the back. I was on the toilet and I was just like sitting there like in the dark, and I was like, dude, I'm either gonna quit right now. Like, I'm not going to, I don't want to waste anybody's time. Right. I don't want to waste my time. So I was like, I'm going to quit right now, or I'm going to write every day and do as many shows as I can and really try to, like, work this out. So it was a bittersweet moment that night, but it just made me realize, like, I need to work hard and I can't be taking opportunities that I'm not ready for. So it was like, I learned a lot. But the first person I ever really opened up for was, you know who Fluffy is? Yeah. Do you ever watch like Fluffy's special?
What's his real
like
name though?
Gabriel Iglesias.
Yes,
so
yeah.
Gabriel's crew, Martin. You ever hear of Martin?
Yep.
Martin Moreno. He, him and his son used to come into town and do stand up live, and they're the first dudes that ever like let me get on a show with them. So sure. I started doing shows with them. They're the first people that ever let me do a show on the road. I remember going to the Brea Improv, and it was just such a big deal. My brother drove out with me, and I wasn't like, I had some pretty good jokes, but it wasn't like I wasn't that good. So I got nothing but love for those dudes for showing me that love.
Yeah.
Because they saw something in me, and I really appreciated that. And then in town, the first weekend I ever got was with my buddy Mike Young. Mike let me MC for him. But yeah, oh, you know who was there at that show too? My buddy Jesus. Jesus was there actually. He was at the Brea Improv. He was on the show, and Jesus took me to he didn't have to do this, but I appreciate him so much for this. He took me to the Comedy Store afterwards and let us meet everybody.
Really?
Like. You know what the Comedy Store is,
for
right?
Sure.
So he took us to the Comedy Store. We got to go to the back bar. He was introducing me as a comedian. It just, like, bro, it felt so good. There was so many cool people there that night. Busy Bone was there that night. J. Cole showed up.
Really?
And then just in that back bar, there was just, like, so many legendary comics. Like, it was so surreal, man. It was awesome, though. It just inspired me so much to just keep doing it. Just to be able to go back there one day and just, like, really... like, not have to have someone else like introduce me as a comic,
Right. Yeah.
So that was cool.
Yeah. So do you think that when you bombed like that was your ultimate push? Like that bad night? Like, do you think if you would have killed it, you'd be here? Like,
I don't know, honestly, but I just know for sure that I just did not want to feel that no more. Like, it was just the worst feeling, just feeling like I was wasting people's time.
Right.
And I felt...
Is it just like quiet or like what? I mean,
oh, I remember I said, what else? What should I talk about? And some guy goes, something funny.
Oh no!
So it was bad. It was pretty bad. But then there's always like that one. There's always like that one. I had one guy come up to me. He's like, "Hey, bro, that was hilarious." And I could have listened to that dude. You know what I mean? Right. But then I was just like, "Nah, bro, that was not.
Yeah,
that shit was bad, bro."
Yeah. No, I feel. Have you had any hecklers? Have you ran into any?
Oh, for sure.
That shit's my favorite because the first night I saw you at CB Live up north in Desert Ridge, there was Callan's doing his bit about the conservative and the Democrat on the iceberg or whatever, right? And so then this lady just starts shouting, and I was like, "Oh yeah!" I was like, "It's fucking on." And he took it to her a little bit. I mean, he was like courteous
Brian
about.
Is so nice, bro. Yeah. Brian will be like, "What'd you say?" That's funny, and just keep going. Like he diffuses it. Like he's non-confrontational with it, but Brian just doesn't like to hurt people's feelings.
I could see
that. I for sure when I first started, I had to do these horrible bar shows, and like I said, people they didn't even know there was comedy there half the time. They just came there to get a drink, and I could think of a million times that, especially like when I had to do shows on like Mill Avenue. Like Mill Avenue on like a Wednesday, there'd just be some drunk ASU students walk in and just they're just filling themselves, and dude, some of these shows there would be like 3 people in the audience, so they would come and there'd be 4 of them. So they're the majority of the whole crowd now.
Right.
You know? So it's, but for sure, yeah. For sure.
I mean, you take it to them, or are you the same way?
Oh, for sure. You know, now my style is my style. I kind of, you know, I feel like I project a lot, and I kind of like punk the audience into listening. I really don't give people time to heckle.
Yeah.
And I can't think in the last year or two where I've had to do it back and forth with anybody. You know, it's kind of been pretty smooth for me. Thank God.
Yeah.
You know, knock on wood.
Yeah, I didn't know if people were acting up now because, I mean, I don't know. It just
Because Chris Rock?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, right, dude. No. I don't know why so many people were so afraid of that. You know what I mean? Dude, I think that shit is so hacky. Me and my roommate just watched like 3 specials, or like they weren't like one person special. They were like it was like what's that dude's name? The guy that's dating Kim Kardashian? Skeet.
Pete Davidson.
Yes.
Yeah.
So him.
Skeet Davidson.
And then we watched the Snoop Dogg Netflix special. Dude, everybody was just talking about that. Everybody like went up. There was like 5 comics on one show, and they all mentioned it, and it's just kind of corny. Like nobody's trying to beat up comics, bro.
Right.
You know?
Well, and then that thing happened with Chappelle, where somebody charged at him on stage like right after that.
But Chappelle's been talking shit for a minute. You know what I mean?
I love it. I love.
Did you see the kid that?
Yeah, they fucked him up.
No, but did you see who he was?
Oh,
he was like some SoundCloud rapper.
Oh, really?
Like I don't think he was doing it because, you know, I think he was just he was like clout chasing. You know what I mean? Because he didn't look like some trans activist. He was literally just some shitty mumble rapper.
Right. And that's what I love at the end of that special, his most recent one, where he talks about the trans lady that opened up for him, and she's gone now, and he's like, I can't wait to give the college fund to their daughter and say, I know your mother, and she was a hell of a man. Like, that's just funny, right? Like,
man, it's jokes, bro.
Right.
You know, I don't know one comic. I don't know one comic that goes on stage like, I want to upset these people.
Right.
You know, it's all out of love, you know. Which, I mean, when I'm up there, I really care about the crowd. You know, I've done shows with people that are like, "Yo, the crowd's annoying. I can't stand them," and I'm just like, "Well, why do you hear them, bro?"
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, if it wasn't for them, there'd be no us. You know.
For sure.
I really take pride in making people forget about their issues for a minute, 2 minutes at a time, and, you know, just laugh at me for a little bit. I just want everybody to have a good time, bro.
Yeah.
That's why I sold fucking drugs in high school. I just want to be attached to a good time. That's it, bro.
Remember me for a good time, right?
Seriously.
No, that's great. What's your what's your favorite place you've played? Is it CB Live because of, you know,
my favorite place?
Yeah.
I love stand up live just because, you know, I just feel home every time I'm there. Right. The staff knows me, but are you talking about in town or like
just anywhere that you've been?
There's been some cool places. I think you know, it's a really good room that a lot of people don't know about is Laughs in Tucson.
Okay.
Laughs in Tucson is amazing. I've never had a bad show there, and the crowd is always laugh. I've seen the worst comics go up and kill. Like I mean, it's just, I don't know. It's just a good energy there, and, you know, there's not too much stuff to do in Tucson. Right. So like when people go out to a comedy show, they just go to. Nobody goes to a comedy show to not have fun. Maybe like, you know, here and there'll be some. I honestly think like when you see people like in shows and they start tripping, and I feel like they didn't buy the tickets. Those are always like people that like a +1. Yeah. You know, who's really paying money to go be mad at a comedy club? Right. You know? There's great rooms all over the country though. You know, Comedy Store's great. Comedy Works. Yeah. In Denver's great. You know where I had a lot of fun? Then I didn't expect it, and I almost didn't go, was Naples, Off the Hook. Naples, Florida. Yeah, dude. And there was so many old people in the crowd, but they were chilling, bro. Yeah. It was a good time.
Yeah. That's dope. So I guess how, you know, I'm trying to grow the podcast, and I love having conversations with new people, right? Mm-hmm. Like just meet new people. And so like you're obviously on a different kind of grind to grow yourself. And so like what has that been like, or what have you done that is separating you apart that now you're getting into doing your own stuff? Like, I mean, there's not obviously like a mold to break into comedy, right? So
yeah, there's really no blueprint. You know, I think our generation has it way easier than the previous generation. Like, you know, like the Rogans and like the Callens, all those dudes. All those dudes didn't have podcasts. You know, like I've listened to so many things on podcasts that have helped me out in my career. You know, just like people telling their war stories and how they went about things, and I think it's really helped a lot of our generation of comics. But for me, what I've done, I've just stayed busy, and I've stayed away from drama. You know, I've just worried about myself, and I just try to. I try to every show I go to. You know, I try to be my best, bro. You know, and I try to. I don't write as much as I should, you know, but I need to get onto that. But like when I first started, bro, I was writing all the time. I was doing 2-3 sets a night. You know, I was always gone. And like, even when I was living with my ex, you know, she there was times where she was just like, you know, just stay home, let's hang out. And I was like, no, like I got to, like, you know what I mean? Because I know people that are fucking hilarious, and they're doing 3 sets a night. You know, so like, what makes me special? I got to go out there and get it, bro.
For sure. So as you get to this next, well, I guess when this comes out, it'll be this weekend.
Okay, cool.
Right. So what are you looking forward to? I mean, how much is there any doubt in the back of your brain that
Oh, for sure, bro. Sometimes I just be thinking, I'm like, man, can I really do that? I don't know how anybody does this sometimes. You know? It's just like, I for sure have that doubt, but it's just because I care so much, you know. I really care. I care a lot about it, and you know, I don't want to be. I don't want people to think I'm wasting my time, especially like my family and stuff. They always tell me I got a great support group around me. Everybody that I keep in my circle, that I keep close to me, you know, they wouldn't bullshit me, and they're always telling me like, bro, I mean, you're meant for this. So it's this headlining weekend coming up is a big deal for me, though, because shout out to House of Comedy too, man, because they really built me up from just guest spots, you know, giving me guest spots and letting me work out my time, and they trusted me with a headlining weekend. It means the world to me, bro.
For sure.
It's so after this, I don't consider myself a headliner.
Right.
You know what I mean? I still think I should be doing feature work right now. So my next goal is just to keep getting on the road with other comics, because I love Brian to death, but I don't want to be Brian's feature forever. You know what I mean? Sure. And I don't want him to feel like I'm lingering either. So I want to just start working with other people and just keep building up my time. And because I've only been doing this for 6 years, bro.
Right.
Like you listen to podcasts, you hear these comics talk. Has 10 years at least. And like I said, I'm funny, but I'm not special by any means. So I'm going to get this headlining weekend out the way, and then I'm just going to keep trying to push out more material. But the game's changing so fast now. Like I need to have a bigger footprint online. So I actually just bought a camera today. So I'm going to be focusing on putting more content out, putting more clips out. My buddy are you coming through to the weekend?
I'll actually be back home. I won't be.
You won't be here?
No, I apologize.
God damn, bro, that sucks. It's all good. My buddy, though, that's coming to MC the show, my buddy Trey. Funny dude, funny motherfucker. I actually met him when I was with Brian at Wise Guys in Utah, and I'm pretty sure I might be wrong on the numbers a little bit. I think when I first met him, though, he just started putting out like clips online. He probably had like 12, maybe like 1,700. If it's more than that, I'm sorry, but it wasn't that much. You know what I mean? And I just looked at his Instagram today. This dude has 70,000 followers.
Just putting clips out.
This was 5 months ago.
Really?
And like. He's doing this. I need to get on that shit. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't know. I just get self-conscious, honestly. That's a lot of it, what it is. It's not that I'm self-conscious, and sometimes I just feel like the joke's never done. You know what I mean? And like, there's been some times when I've uploaded a clip, and then next week I just got something, you know what I mean, that makes a joke 10 times better, and I'm just like, damn, I released it too fast.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I understand that. So how did House of Comedy come to you, or your team go to them? How does that work out? How'd you find yourself in this spot?
I won the competition last year.
Oh, the last comic standing or whatever, right?
It's basically the same thing. It's called Funniest Person with the Day Job.
That's right, yeah.
And Corey McCluskey, you know who that is?
I don't.
He's the weatherman for Fox.
Down here?
Yeah.
Okay.
He was emceeing the show.
Yeah.
Oh my God, this fucking guy.
Is he pretty funny?
Huh?
Is he pretty funny?
So he's emceeing these shows, right? And Let's leave it at that.
Okay.
What's up, Corey? I'm fucking around. But he's just not a comic, you know what I mean? But he was up there with the weather voice, and you know, he had great stage presence. Pulled up in a Porsche, fucking asshole, just stunting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he kept saying, "Winner gets a headlining weekend," and those are not the terms of the competition.
Oh, really?
But after I won, I pressed Rick, and I was like, "What's up, dude?" Like, he keeps saying this shit, so I was like, let's do it. And it's not like I was just some random dude that won it, you know?
Right.
So I just, they had faith in me. They're like, all right, fuck it. Let's see what you could do.
Yeah.
So
did you pick, like, who's opening for you?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. So I got my buddy Trey Lamb is going to come MC. I'm giving my homeboy Yoshi Obayashi, one of the funniest, dude, he's one of the darkest, funniest comics that I've ever seen. He's amazing. So he's gonna come through. He was actually in medical testing. He's a professional guinea pig.
Really?
That's what he does. He was doing some medical testing. He wasn't supposed to be there for the show. He was doing like a 3-week test for like $15,000.
So like he literally like go hang out at the hospital, like
It's not even a hospital. It's like a barracks. They lock you in there, and they like what are those things? That they always rip off in the movies.
Yeah.
The heart monitors, all that stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
So he's basically locked up with those things on there for like 3 weeks at a time, and they're just testing drugs on him, and they give him like a specific food to see how they like counteract with the drugs and stuff. But that's what he does. All respect to him. You know what I mean? Get that money, bro.
Yeah, that's dope.
And he's coming through to do some spots, and then my roommate Reese. Have you ever seen Reese?
I don't
Reese
believe
Muniz?
so.
Reese is hilarious. He's my roommate, so he's gonna be featuring, and then I'm probably gonna give couples like a 5-minute spot in between me and Reese.
Okay.
But yeah, I got to pick all that stuff.
Cool.
Thank God.
Yeah, that's pretty cool though.
Yeah, dude, that's because that's one of the things you got to worry about too when you start traveling, doing stand up. Like, the club usually books your openers, you know, unless you
really?
specifically bring your feature, but nobody brings that MC. You know what I
Right.
mean? So you could. There's some hit or miss. So you know what I mean? It's hit or miss sometimes. You let a local guy go up there because,
Right.
You know, who knows?
Yeah. So like I was gonna ask, so are you tailoring these guys because maybe the audience will find all of you funny, or is it just like
They're funny as fuck, bro. They're my
Yeah.
funniest friends. They're
Yeah.
hilarious people, and then it's gonna be a diverse show too. You know what I mean? Trey's
Right.
a white dude. He's hilarious. Though. It's nothing to do with race, but you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
it's just a lot of different styles of comedy.
Sure.
Trey's gonna go up there. Trey's he's like a very good writer. You know
Okay.
what I mean?
Yep.
Like, his Economy Awards is great, and then Yoshi's just he's like electricity, bro.
Like you said, dark. So like we talking like
bro.
dark.
We're talking about dark.
Dark.
But he's just like an older Asian guy, so you don't like really expect, like, you don't and he has like an accent too.
Really?
I swear the accent sells it too, bro.
For sure.
And then my buddy Reese he's like me, he's like a cholo, you know.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna put someone in between me and Reese though, so that like it's just not like too cholo-y back to back, you know what I mean? Even though I love him, you know what I mean? I love his style, but like, just get a little break between us.
Did he MC for Callan one night up at like, Desert Ridge?
He was there. Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The bigger Mexican fool.
Yeah. Okay, that's who. Okay, yeah.
I
No,
love
he's
that
good.
dude.
Yeah, he's
My
good.
little brother.
Yeah, that's dope. So, like, is there a good group of like comedians here, and like you guys all hang out, or is it like literally just like people you grew up with that you know that are around here? How's the comedy scene in general here?
The comedy scene is cool. You know, there's a lot of
Yeah.
people there's a lot of people running shows. Thank God for them, because I'm not doing that shit. You know what I mean? I'm
Right.
not pulling up with a sound system and a microphone. Like, these dudes, there's so many independently run shows here, and there's people just trying to get it, man. You know, as far as like hanging out with them, you know, like when I see them, I love comics. You know, I say what's up, talk some shit.
Yeah.
I don't really hang out with too many comics. I hang out with, you know, my roommate, and I have like, you know, a couple other comics that I'll kick it with here and there. But I have friends from, you know, like that I grew up with. I usually just hang out like with my friends. I try to. And then, like, a lot of the times you can get caught up in the drama. You know what I mean? There's a lot of drama in
comedy.
Yeah, there's a lot of drama. You
Sure.
know, I'm not gonna say no names, but there's a lot of people that, you know, they hold themselves back.
Yeah.
You know, worrying about like stupid little local drama, and you know, people, they talk a lot. So I try to stay away from that. You know, I know comics are sensitive people. You know, so I try not to hang out too much. You know,
that's cool. I understand that. They kind of keep your circle tailored towards you too.
Yeah, for sure. And then, like, I don't know, I just don't like being fake. You know what I mean? I don't like hanging out with people when I don't need to. You know what I mean? I got enough stuff I got to do already. I'm already busy as it is. So
Right.
And I don't even see my like my close friends as much as I want to. You know what I'm saying? I don't even see my family as much as I want to. So like, you know, I try to keep it short. I try not to hang out too much at the clubs and, you know, linger after shows. But it's just because, you know, I just don't want to waste, you know, nobody's time.
No, I feel that. So I guess the question I have is, I kind of bounced, so I apologize because that's how my brain works.
Come on, dude.
But how do you go about like practicing a set? Or like,
You have to do it live.
You don't do it like recorded in front, like, you know, record on your iPhone.
You got to record. You got to record it at a show. You know, usually like I always bring my phone up on stage with me, and I just have my audio recorder.
Okay.
And then I just go back and like listen to the set, and I'll just listen to see if I said something dumb, or like if I said something that didn't work, or like that's what I got to work on. You know what I mean? But yeah, you can't practice stand up. That's the thing about like other like entertainment, like, you know, music. You and like, if you got a band, you can go and practice at the crib. You know, you can do, you know, band sessions anywhere, and then like sometimes music is just background noise. You know what I mean? You're not even paying attention to it. Like when you're doing stand up, everybody's listening to every word you say.
Right.
So, and then the only way to practice is in front of people. So it's kind of like I said, it's, you know what I mean? You find out real quick what works and what doesn't.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's the only way you can practice is live, for sure.
So when you're going to go practice something, are you going to pull up to like an open mic night? Or?
Open mic, yeah. Oh, for sure. For sure. You know, free shows.
Yeah.
People that people didn't pay for.
Sure.
That's where you practice the stuff. And you got to be careful too sometimes. I learned this in the beginning is that when you're doing like open mics, you know, the sound system's kind of bad sometimes. Yeah. So like you can kind of get away with like mumbling like weird shit or dumb shit into the mic, or kind of just like talking under your breath because nobody will hear it. But when you're at like these big clubs, bro, with like $200,000 sound systems, every word counts because they're gonna hear everything, bro.
For sure.
Yeah. So you just that I learned that real quick. Like, okay, like I just know. No fat, no unneeded words. You know, the Economy Awards has to be good.
Yeah, absolutely. If you could open or join up, not necessarily open, but if you could be on stage with anybody that night, who would that be? I mean, I would assume that you got like that would be like a I made it moment. Or maybe it's a place even.
What's that place from Goodfellas? Where's that place that they went to? It's like a theater. Carnegie Hall, is that it?
Yeah.
I want to perform there.
Okay.
But as far as like people that I really want to work with, I've got to work with everybody I wanted to work with already. So actually, you know who I really want to work with? Todd Glass. You know who Todd Glass is?
I don't.
Love Todd Glass. I still haven't seen him live either. But I think he's like the only dude that like I really, really, really like that I haven't got to work with yet. And then Attell. I was supposed to open up for Attell a couple of weeks ago, but I wasn't vaccinated.
Oh,
they asked for me to be vaccinated.
They did, or the club?
He did.
Oh,
he was like, the club was like, oh, we're gonna link you with Luis, because I specifically requested to work with them. Like it's pretty cool like that with me in the club. So like if I see someone coming into town and I want to work with them, I could just send them a text and be like, hey, you know, if he's not bringing anybody, let me open up for him. And usually they'll give it to me. And they were gonna give me that weekend too, because he's like I said, he's one of the dudes that I haven't worked with that I just really respect, that I wanted to work with. And then they're just like, oh, he's requesting someone that's vaccinated. And I was like, oh shit. And I don't want to lie. You know what I mean? Make the club look bad.
Yeah.
Actually, I did want to lie. The club was like, no, you can't lie. I was like, oh, fuck. Okay.
Yeah, no, that's fair, I guess. That's the world we live in. I guess kind of touching on the vaccination stuff. How wild was, I mean, what kind of shows were you playing pre-COVID? Let me start there.
All of them.
Yeah.
Sold out.
Yeah.
No plexiglass. You know, it was fun. And then COVID hit, and I think dude, honestly, I wasn't down that long, bro. Me and Callan went on tour. And this was like February 2021 February.
Yeah, okay.
So it was like, you know,
a year.
A year. But everything was still going on.
Right.
You know, and we did a lot of Florida though. We were in the places that they really didn't give a shit. I think we went to Florida like 4 times.
Really?
Went to Florida 4 times. We were in like like places like Des Moines. We were going.
Yeah, shout out Iowa.
Are you from Iowa?
No.
You like Slipknot or what?
No, yeah, for sure. No, my hometown is 10 minutes from the Iowa border, so I'm from Minnesota.
Minnesota. I have never been to Minnesota.
Okay,
it's cool.
It's
cool out there. Is it basically Des Moines?
Yeah, so it's like super flat and you can see forever.
Yeah,
it's dope.
water towers and shit. Yeah,
you got
awesome.
It. Yeah.
Yeah, we were like in places like Nashville.
So like the places that literally like didn't give a shit, like COVID was not real the whole time.
And it's cool too, you know what I mean? Because you just got to go up there and talk shit, and they were just on board with it. Huntsville was actually pretty dope.
Alabama?
Yeah. Huntsville was dope. You know, there's more rocket scientists.
People.
Yeah, there's more rocket scientists per capita in Alabama than anywhere else in the United States.
Yeah, that's a real thing.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, is it NASA that's out there? Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's NASA. Yeah, it's NASA. NASA's that's where Warner von Braun set up. Was in Huntsville.
I don't know
Pretty
what
sure.
that is. Apologize.
You don't know what Warner von Braun is? He's like, Operation Paperclip. When after World War II, when they brought down the Nazi regime, they split up because Nazi scientists were like the smartest dudes when it came to like rocket propulsion and all that stuff. So a bunch of countries like divvied up a bunch of the scientists, and like the Nazis, like the best Nazi scientists went to a bunch of different countries, and Warner von Braun came through to America, and I'm pretty sure they set up in Huntsville.
That's wild.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
This place probably not looking.
Nazis that started NASA.
Yeah, that's
a little weird, right?
Yeah, gets you thinking.
Yeah.
So
it gets me thinking way too much, bro. Trust me.
Yeah, no, I'm with
That's
you.
my guilty pleasure. It's like looking into shit like that.
Really?
The crazy conspiracies, because it's not really a conspiracy. That shit happened, dude.
Right. There's a little bit of truth behind all of it, right? So when you took that year off, were you excited or were you more nervous coming back?
I took like 6 months off before, and it was like I literally changed my whole style. I moved out to Asia. This was before like COVID, and my roommate, he actually has this funny thing he says to me all the time. Like when I have a big show, he goes, "Hey, pre-Asia Lou tonight." Because I feel like I went out there, I just chilled out. Like I came back so chill. I don't know. I don't remember it being like this, but everybody was saying like, "Bro, you like really chilled out. Like you're not as aggressive on stage and stuff." I was like, man, but that. I don't even think I took a year off, bro. If I'm being honest, I was still getting up. There was still places to get up. I was doing, maybe like a couple months, but there was like low key shows going on.
Sure.
There was businesses trying to stay open and
have
do whatever they can to have people come in. So I remember going and doing like smaller shows. And what's crazy is that I remember the club closed down twice, and I was at the club both weekends it shut down.
Because they like had a pop or whatever COVID.
Yeah, it was. I think it was actually with Jesus. I might have been with Jesus. We were at the Improv, and then I remember the manager coming in when he was on stage, and he's like, "We're canceling tomorrow's show," and like that's it. And then the other time I was at stand up, and they closed it. I was like, "Damn, bad luck."
That is wild. That's wild. I mean, for you guys, I would imagine. Because now that I know that you're practicing in front of crowds, like I feel like you watched all these musicians like continue to like post Instagram posts and singing and stuff. Like a
lot of people were doing Zoom shows.
Oh really?
Yeah, I didn't do any Zoom shows. It's not stand up, bro.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
How would that work? I don't know.
I don't understand. I remember so many people were bragging about like doing like these virtual open mics. I'm like, I'm not doing that shit. But I was like, if I do it, I feel like the key to do it, you would have to actually have people in the room with you, you know what I mean, like a live audience up front, and then try to make like them laugh, and then hopefully it makes the people. I know a lot of people that blew up though during COVID. You know that Playhouse, is that what it's called? Or
Playhouse,
I forget what the Clubhouse is. It called Clubhouse? It's like an app, and it was basically like Zoom.
Okay.
But I know this one comic, she blew up on there. Like they made her like the face of the app.
Really?
Yeah, like when you went to go download the app, it was like her face.
Yeah.
And a lot of people blew up on that, but
I have to imagine that'd be so hard because like I feel like the laughter, the energy of the room, like that's your energy, right? Like how the set's going, obviously, like that's how you knew.
There's probably like a delay on laughter. I don't know, bro. I couldn't do it. I'm honestly happy I didn't do it because I don't know if those videos save up there, but I don't know. I'm just happy I didn't do it though.
Yeah.
I just took the L, bro. It's like, fuck it. Let me just kick it with my girl for a little bit. She deserves it.
That's cool. I mean, it's just a wild time, and I think it's funny that I tend to bring it up more than I want on these podcasts, but it's just crazy to realize like how everybody got through it. Like I was coaching high school football.
Oh, were you?
And that year is what changed me, like to try to find something else. I still miss it a lot, but there was just a lot of shit that went with that, right? So I just like to learn about how people got through it. You know, everybody's different. And
I remember we went to my mom's. My mom lives in Casa Grande.
Okay.
It's like a big house. So I remember we went over there and just stayed over there, and we kind of, because we didn't know what it was going to be. It was like, right, like when the George Floyd stuff happened, you know, like the beginning when like nobody really knew what was going to happen. I remember my mom like being all scared. It was kind of scary though, you know, having to buy like toilet paper from some dude on OfferUp at Home Depot. And it was like doing drug deals for toilet paper.
Yeah, no, it was nuts. I was in Nashville when it started that weekend.
Really? How was it over there? I went over there like mid-COVID, and it didn't seem...
I feel like we were kind of like robbed of the Nashville experience because like people were freaking out, right? And like, but there was still a lot of people that were like, well,
right when it happened, you mean?
Yeah. So like, I remember we got there, and that was like the night like all the NBA games got canceled and stuff. And
when
then
Rudy's touched all the mics.
Yeah. And so I remember we woke up that morning and there were like 21 cases in the entire state of Tennessee, and everybody was freaking out. And then we were down there all weekend. But the one thing I will say, man to man here, like before COVID, dudes weren't washing their hands leaving the bathroom.
I still don't, bro.
Yeah, see what I'm saying? But
I
like,
wash my hands before I touch my dick.
See, that's just, I'm the same way. That's the cleanest part on me.
Yeah, for sure. That's hilarious. You know, do you remember when they were saying, wash your hands for 2 minutes?
It's too long.
Are you serious, bro? Yeah. 2 minutes? It's hard enough brushing my teeth for 2 minutes, bro.
That's a lot of ABCs.
Yeah. No. Listen, your favorite song. That's what they were saying. To your favorite song. I like Marvin Gaye, bro. There's like 8-minute Marvin Gaye songs, you know? I ain't gonna wash my hand but dude, even I don't know, man. Even like they were putting like those things up on. They were like trying to reteach people how to wash their hands. Like, they were just doing too much, bro. You know,
it was way too much.
And I remember, oh man, it was just a bunch of virtue signaling, bro. It's like a lot of people acting all high and mighty because they're
sure. I'm vaccinated.
Well, it's not even that. Like, there was just people like they just wanted to show like, oh, I listen. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I listen more than you. Like it was something to be proud of.
Cool, you
like,
follow the rules.
Yeah, good. I followed the rules better. Like, bro, shut up, man. I remember being actually in Nashville, bro. We went to a place, and we were in the lobby, and it was cold as fuck outside. So they had like you know, like when you go to a restaurant, there's like that little waiting area.
Yep.
There's like 2 doors, one door to get in, and then one door to actually get into the restaurant. And it was cold, and I remember me and my friend went in there, and this girl in front of us was like, so we don't care about COVID in this room? And I was just like, bitch, it's cold outside. Fuck you.
Yeah.
You snuck in here too, you know?
So we don't care about COVID. That's great. So no. What was your first, so like I'm going on airplane next week for the first time without a mask in a couple of years. I'm pretty pumped up. Pretty pumped up for it. Get to breathe. My fat ass gets to breathe again, you know? What was your first show like without everybody wearing masks? Like, can you see? That's a question I have too, because it's obviously.
I don't remember doing any shows with people wearing masks. So
really,
no.
I figured there would be like
all. No, I didn't, dude. I stayed out of California. That's like California, bro.
Yeah.
I went to California the end of last year. I think I went in October, and it was already done. You know what I mean? We were out in Ontario too. It wasn't like Hollywood or any of that shit. So
yeah, it
wasn't too bad. No, I didn't. There was like a couple people in the crowd, you know, that had masks on, but
always will be.
Yeah, it was nothing. The planes, bro. I'm so excited to be back on a plane. Though I'm going to Austin in a couple weeks, so I'm just, bro, because that shit sucked, bro. Just sitting, especially like when you fly into like Florida.
Yeah, it's hot.
You know what I mean? And you just like 6 hours of a mask on your face. Yeah. I remember, dude, I never went to the bathroom so much on a plane just to like take a little breather. You know what I mean? Just sit there real quick. It's like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
And people be tripping on planes. You know what I mean? I don't want to test my luck on planes either. No. I don't want nobody yelling at me on a plane. Love them videos though. Yeah, they are pretty entertaining. Yeah, they're good. It's the best.
Yeah. So after this coming weekend, what's next? Where are you at? Where are you gonna be?
Just back to it. Back on the road with Brian. I know I'm going to Austin. We're gonna go do Cap City, and then just whatever's on tour with him. But I just got this camera, so I'm hoping I can put some shit together and then start going with some other people. I was actually supposed to start going with Michael Rappaport. I'm gonna start doing some shows with him.
Really?
You like Rappaport?
Yeah.
I love Rap. He's the best. A lot of people don't. Dude, I remember uploading some videos with me and him doing shows. I never had so many comics like talking shit. Like, why are you doing shows with that guy? Like, bro, like, if you're cool to me, you know what I mean? And you ain't fucked over none of my friends.
Right.
You know, like, why? If you're showing love, I'm going to show love back, bro.
For sure.
But, yeah, I'm excited to do some shows with Rap. Rap always has a good crowd, too.
Yeah, and I feel like he's, like, the most hated, but
I got respect for him, though, bro, because when I was doing the shows with him, you know, he hasn't been doing stand-up too long. Like, he was, like, really, like, trying to get better at it. Right. You know what I mean? Like, he was, like, back in the green room talking about, like, what do you think about this? How do you think I should am I saying this right? And, like, you know, I ain't shit. Right. You know what I mean? I'm a comic. That's all I am. You know, I don't act. I don't do none of that stuff. So he was really trying to get better, and I got nothing but respect for that. Like, if you got respect for the art and you got respect for, you know, your peers, like, come on, bro, I'm gonna show love.
Yeah.
And then you're giving me an opportunity too. It makes me look good, and I like the dude. You know what I mean? I grew up watching this dude, so like, why wouldn't I want to work with him? Yeah. No, that's so cool. So you're going on tour with Callan, going on tour with him. They're just out there killing it. Just keep doing it, brother.
Yeah.
No, it ain't stopping anytime soon.
No. Where can everybody find you at?
Just hit me. I usually just use Instagram, so I'm on Instagram, Comedy Luis. It was Luis Comedy, but my shit got hacked.
Okay.
That sucked. Comedy Luis. Just hit me up on there. Send me a DM. Say what's up. Come through to a show. Come hang out.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate you so much.
I appreciate you, brother.
Time.
Appreciate the love, man. For real.
Absolutely.
Great conversation.
Thank you so much, brother.
Cool.
Thank you to everybody listening. Comment, subscribe, share, unsubscribe, rate 5 stars, subscribe again, do all that fun stuff. Thank you so much.